Hello, everybody, and welcome to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. Today, I'll be talking about severe weather across the deep south, the southeast here all through the week, and looking ahead here at the longer range weather forecast to see what here is coming down the pipeline. Now, looking at today's forecast, we do have a large enhanced risk zone of severe weather across south central Georgia, southern South Carolina, and southeastern portions here of Alabama, northwest Florida Panhandle, with a slight and marginal risk zone here surrounding that here into north central Florida, getting up into here North Carolina and back down towards here New Orleans, and then a little zone here of a marginal risk across central portions of Missouri, northern Arkansas, northeastern portions here of Oklahoma, getting into west central Illinois, kind of closer to that upper low as we head into the afternoon. A significant hatched tornado zone across south central portions of Georgia with a tornado threat of EF2s or stronger as we head into late this afternoon. Also, a very dangerous wind risk here, a 45% wind risk here on this enhanced risk zone across south central Georgia, southeastern portions of Alabama, southern South Carolina, rather. Sorry, I cannot talk today here, everybody. And also hail of 15% here across South Georgia, getting into southeastern Alabama with a 2% hail risk surrounding that in the slight and marginal risk zones. Now, as we look into tomorrow, the day 2 categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, another enhanced risk of severe weather just farther to the north here in Georgia, including the Atlanta metro area, getting up toward Chattanooga, portions back down towards Birmingham, and down toward Tuscaloosa with a large slight risk zone across the rest of Georgia, most of South Carolina, getting up into middle and eastern Tennessee towards Knoxville, getting up into southeastern portions of Kentucky, western North Carolina, far western portions here of Virginia, and much of the state here of Alabama and northern Florida, including Panama City, Pensacola, Mobile, Jacksonville. We'll have to watch that here as we head into tomorrow. And then as we head into our Thursday, the day 3 categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center has a small slight risk zone of severe weather across eastern North Carolina into portions of southern and southeastern portions here of Virginia, with a marginal risk zone here surrounding that as well. And then a little marginal risk zone here across north central Florida where some strong storms as well, with a trailing cold front as we head into our Thursday. Looking at the current alerts here, we have a large zone here of tornado watches across south central Georgia, getting into southeastern Alabama, the northwest Florida Panhandle, numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, numerous tornado warnings, with even some observed and confirmed tornadoes being reported across east central portions of Alabama, getting into western Georgia as we head into today. So this is a very dangerous situation here. You want to have multiple ways to get warnings, whether it's a weather radio, your devices, smartphone, tablet, or even watching it on TV. Want to have multiple ways here to get warnings, and do follow on social media here to get warnings as well. Looking at the composite reflectivity here today, seeing a very large MCS or mesoscale convective system with a very strong push of wind here pushing through Alabama here through the morning hours, and with a kind of a back building setup here down into southern and central portions of Mississippi, getting into southeastern portions of Louisiana, maybe some strong storms down there today. The strongest weather I'm expecting across south central Georgia, southeastern portions here of Alabama, maybe far northern Florida as we head into the afternoon, and maybe even southern portions here of South Carolina as well. Now, as we move along here, a lot of backbuilding of the storms, but we'll get a strong push of these storms as we head into southern portions of Alabama as we head into late this afternoon. So maybe a 1-2 punch across the Alabama area. And across this leading edge could have damaging winds that could be in excess of 60 or 70 miles per hour. Some large hail of around $1 to $half size, maybe a little larger with some embedded supercells. And also here, the threat here is some brief and maybe even some strong tornadoes potentially as well. And if you can have a supercell kind of ahead of this main line that can develop here, you could have a longer track tornado that is possible, especially across southeastern Alabama, south central Georgia as we head into today. And this line will continue surging eastward as we head into late this afternoon, pushing into southern and central portions of Georgia, southern portions of South Carolina, and then these storms will walk themselves out here off the coast as we head into this evening and into the overnight hours, putting an end to today's severe risk across the south and east. Why are we having this severe risk today? Well, we do have high moisture content here in the atmosphere. A lot of dew point temperatures getting up into the middle and upper 60s, especially across south central Georgia, and near 70-degree dew points here up into southeastern portions of Alabama, far northwest Florida Panhandle, and here even mid-60 dew points into southern South Carolina. So this is kind of fueling these updrafts of these thunderstorms as they push to the east very rapidly here today, and these are providing the fuel for these thunderstorms to produce those widespread damaging winds, that large hail, and also here that tornado threat here as well. The instability here, or convective available potential energy here across this area, is pretty decent today here. Not the highest I've ever seen, but still some decent values across especially southeastern portions of Alabama, south central Georgia, getting into northwest Florida Panhandle, probably on the order of more of around 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram. So some here weak to moderate instability values being realized across these areas, which will carry out that severe threat as we head into the afternoon. Now, couple that with some here decent wind shear values, especially as you get into Georgia here as we head into today. You can see up around pretty much 60 to 75 knots across this area wind shear. So some pretty decent wind shear values coupled with that weak to moderate instability kind of make up the lack of some of that instability a little bit in some of these areas, and you can produce some here numerous and widespread severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings here as we head into late this afternoon and early this evening before it walks itself off the coast here as we head into the overnight hours. Looking at the supercell composite as we head into today, some pretty nice values across southern and central portions here of Alabama, southeastern Alabama, the northwest Florida panhandle, into south central Georgia, even getting some values up here into southern portions of South Carolina towards Charleston, getting back down here towards Savannah, Georgia, Panama City, Pensacola, getting down toward Mobile, seeing some very robust values for supercell thunderstorms this afternoon with that second push of storms. So do want to be on watch for that as we head into late this afternoon and early this evening. And also, again, some significant tornado parameters, some very high values across southern and southeastern Alabama, the northwest Florida Panhandle, south central Georgia. Here, fostering this severe weather threat could also have some long track supercells here embedded along this line that could produce a strong tornado or two as we head into late this afternoon, especially across south central Alabama, getting over into the northwest Florida Panhandle and south central portions here of Georgia, maybe even the far southern tip here of South Carolina as well, including Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, getting maybe down toward Jacksonville, Florida with time, and then here over toward Pensacola, Florida, Panama City, Mobile, Alabama. These areas really have to be on guard as we head into late this afternoon, early this evening for that tornado threat. Looking at the hodographs in regards to the tornado threat, seeing some pretty curved signatures here across southern portions here of Alabama, and the reason why it is curved is because the wind shear, the winds at the surface will be coming more out of the south. You go up a few thousand feet, the winds will be turning here to the south and west. A few thousand more feet, they'll be coming out of the west. So a lot of rolling motion in the atmosphere will be creating here the threat for tornadoes and long track supercells that could produce long track tornadoes later on today. Now, see that piece of energy across the southeast? That will walk itself out. We're going to see another piece of energy push off here into the upper Midwest, push down with a very potent cold front as we head into late today, and that will send a very strong cold front through the Midwest as we head into today, into our Wednesday as well, tomorrow. And this will be the driving force behind another severe weather threat across the Tennessee, Ohio valleys, and the southeast once again as we head into our Wednesday. And here that will be with some strong lift along that front, can get some scattered convection or thunderstorms to develop ahead of that and see some severe weather. Now, looking at tomorrow, that strong front going to be providing some scattered strong thunderstorm potential across this area from western Illinois down into central and southeastern portions of Missouri. Those will weaken a little bit and just kind of the garden variety thunderstorms as they push into western Tennessee, kind of lose their oomph here as we head into the overnight hours. Was kind of an unfavorable timing for these thunderstorms. But as we head into tomorrow, you can clearly see where that front lays across middle Tennessee into late tomorrow afternoon, along and just ahead of that strong cold front. Going to see a lot of daytime heating, a lot of dew point temperatures rising, and a lot of that wind shear here once again, an instability here coinciding with that to produce that severe weather as we head into late tomorrow afternoon. And I'll show you that here. Storms will get going around middle and eastern Tennessee up into Kentucky as we head into our Wednesday afternoon. Some thunderstorm development here into cross portions of northwestern Alabama into Mississippi as well. We'll have to wait for that to hear. And then storms tomorrow will be a little more scattered, not as widespread as today, but these scattered nature thunderstorms could all be supercells here with the potential for tornadoes. Maybe a long track tornado tomorrow if one of these supercells can take advantage of that instability and also hear all that wind shear in the atmosphere. And we could have maybe a strong tornado, especially across middle and eastern Tennessee, down into Alabama and north central Georgia, including the Atlanta metro area, back into Birmingham, Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Tennessee. Got to be watching this here as we head into our Wednesday evening and Wednesday afternoon here as well. And these storms will continue to grow a little bit, still scattered in nature here. That is kind of hence why the Storm Prediction Center is putting out a slight to enhanced risk zone. Confidence that here not as widespread, but still some severe weather potential and at least a scattered to potentially numerous basis as we head into tomorrow across these zones. And this will continue to push into the Carolinas, the Western Carolinas, around Asheville, North Carolina, getting in just west of Columbia, South Carolina, around the Atlanta, Georgia area, and pushing to the east here as we head into late in the afternoon. Looking at this farther here to the south, thunderstorms, like I said, late in the afternoon, early evening, will be developing across the south and east. They will be pushing east along that very strong and potent cold front, and along there we could have some severe weather with the potential for long track tornado potential, also widespread damaging winds and hail. I do think tomorrow overall the damaging wind and hail threat will be the highest, but again, isolated tornadoes are possible. A strong tornado, however, cannot be ruled out. The reason being here, this is happening tomorrow. Again, a lot of moisture ahead of the cold front here, and actually a lot more widespread dew points into the upper 60s to low 70s across here, much of Georgia, southeastern Alabama, north central Florida into South Carolina, kind of pooling along and ahead of this cold front. And you can see behind the front, dew points will be dropping into the 40s and 50s, even some 30s back into Arkansas. So a very potent front here evident across central portions here of Alabama, southeastern Mississippi, east and middle Tennessee as we head into late tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours around dinner time. And ahead of there is where it's all game and play for some severe weather as we head into tomorrow. The instability values will be pretty robust as we head into tomorrow, especially across Georgia, into portions of Alabama, Mississippi, getting up into eastern and middle Tennessee, into the Carolinas. Here, as the farther southward extent here into portions of Georgia and Alabama could have instability values creeping up around 2,500 to perhaps locally 3,000 joules per kilogram. So some moderate to high CAPE environment or convective available potential energy to here feed off of these thunderstorms as we head here into tomorrow afternoon along and ahead of that cold front. Now the wind shear will kind of be lagging kind of post-frontal across these areas into northwestern Alabama, middle and western Tennessee, but just enough of that wind shear punching into these storms where they could be here producing some damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, some hail, and maybe even the isolated tornado threat as well, especially across northern central portions of Georgia into the Carolinas, eastern and middle Tennessee, into portions here of Alabama as well. Supercell composite tomorrow, yes, could have some supercells across the southeast here in the Georgia, South Carolina here. Some pretty decent values showing up. Same thing here with the significant tornado parameter. Some pretty high values across, especially centered on Georgia into portions here of central and eastern portions of Alabama. So wouldn't be surprised if we have a couple long-lived supercells that can produce some long-track tornadoes as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Will be interesting to see if the Storm Prediction Center does upgrade here a little bit, expand the enhanced risk zone here across portions here of the southeast. They have here made mention that they could expand that higher probabilities of that enhanced risk farther south here into southern Georgia. We'll just have to wait and see if that here does occur into this afternoon's or even here tomorrow morning's update from the Storm Prediction Center here on their outlook. You can see here the photographs tomorrow, not super impressive, but enough here to, winds will be coming out of the south and then turning to the southwest and then west-southwest in the afternoon here as we head into Georgia and southern and central portions here of Alabama. And this will be enough here to kind of get the atmosphere here rolling with some more rolling motion here in the atmosphere for some strong thunderstorms to produce tornadoes tomorrow afternoon. This front will continue here to push to the east. A very pesky upper level low across here, the upper Midwest. I kind of want to touch on this for a minute. This will kind of be just very slowly moving across the Midwest. This low pressure center is kind of centered around east central portions of Minnesota, northwest Wisconsin as we head into around midday on Wednesday. And this will kind of, it almost looks like a cinnamon bun type of upper level low with how tightly wound it is. But then it'll kind of open up a little bit into central Wisconsin here as we head into our Thursday, and this will kind of slowly meander its way through the Great Lakes region here into the upper Midwest as we head into our Thursday midday, with another strong front here kind of coming down into the portions of the mid-Atlantic region, and that will also foster the threat here for severe weather in a small zone here in the eastern Carolinas into Virginia as we head into our Thursday. So a lot going on this week, a lot of severe weather for sure, and this is just going to continue to meander across the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes as we head into early Friday before finally pushing off into Canada and farther to the east and the northeast as we head into toward the weekend. Now, looking at this, a 987 millibar low across central portions of Minnesota, fostering some, scattered rain and thunderstorm activity across the upper Midwest. This will push a strong cold front through Illinois, Wisconsin, and Missouri as we head into this afternoon into the evening hours, and some rain showers up there as well, with some backwash moisture here with some wraparound snowfall across portions of west central Minnesota, the eastern Dakotas. So a couple inches of snow are possible out of that here, maybe just enough to shovel in those locations here. Probably not enough to snow blow, but here at least some grassy surface snowfall here across those areas, and this will continue to kind of meander its way around here the upper Midwest and Great Lakes all the way through the weekend. Looking at the next 72 hours here ending on Friday, April 8th here in the morning, you can see a lot more rainfall across the southeast with those strong thunderstorms here with a couple days worth of some severe weather. Rainfall here across Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, back into southern Mississippi, northern Florida Panhandle here especially. Another 2 to 4 plus inches of rain it can be expected. A lot more rainfall expected across the northeastern states here as well in the mid-Atlantic. Another 1 to 3 inches here in that zone. And then with this pesky low pressure system up across the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes here across Illinois, central and northern Illinois, northern Indiana, into much of Michigan, getting back into east central portions of Missouri, could see an additional here half inch to inch worth here of rainfall here with some embedded thunderstorms up there, with some backwash moisture and some snowfall with a couple inches of snow across Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and the eastern Dakotas as we head here toward late this week. Now, also with that here, in regards to the heavy rainfall, the Weather Prediction Center's Day 1 excessive rainfall outlook does show here a slight risk zone for flash flooding across much of Georgia, the Carolinas, getting back into here southern and central Alabama, the northwest Florida Panhandle, with a marginal risk zone of flash flooding around that. And this will continue into tomorrow as well, kind of centered on south central Georgia, northern Florida, getting into the Carolinas as we head into our tomorrow for a chance for some flash flooding in those zones as well. Now, looking ahead, this is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, and you can see above average temperatures is expected across much of the eastern 2/3 of the country, centered on the central and southern plains into the Great Lakes and northeast states here, as a very big ridge of high pressure ahead of another very intense, storm system that will be developing toward the middle of next week. A very potent trough will be pushing down here in the northwest side of the states here as we head into towards early next week, and this will kind of eject and push to the east and northeast here and send another round, I think, of severe weather across the center of the country somewhere here as we head into the middle of next week. Specifics at this point here are a little unclear, but we'll get those here a little bit more fine-tuned as we head a little bit closer into next week. As well. And that also here regarding my thinking of a storm system, above average precipitation across much of the country here, across the the central plains up into the upper Midwest, the northern plains, and back here into the Intermountain West here as well. Drier than normal across the eastern seaboard in regards to that ridge that will be pushing to the east here as we head through the middle of the month. Then looking even farther, this is going out from here the 18th of April, that very potent upper trough will continue to push east here, and a lot of below normal and much below normal temperatures here across the Intermountain West, here the Pacific Northwest and the northern and central plains, where that ridge will continue across the eastern seaboard and the northeast, where above normal temperatures here can be expected across those areas. And here with that storm system pushing across the area here in the middle of April, can expect some above normal rainfall and precipitation across here much of the eastern two-thirds of the country. The southwest here toward California and Nevada, and also here into the kind of the Four Corners region, normal to below normal precipitation can be expected through the 18th of the month here as well there. So I hope that gives you some insight on all the severe weather potential here this week. Also looking here at some snowfall up into Minnesota, and just some pesky low pressure system here providing some just general rains across the upper Midwest and Great Lakes as well. So do be sure to like my video and to subscribe to my channel, as I will have more weather related content as we head through the week regarding the severe weather potential and next week's storm system as well. And leave your questions and comments below. And also here, like I said, remember to subscribe to my channel. And everybody, I hope you have a great day here as we head into our Tuesday. Thank you.